Warning. Warning. Ship damage critical. Catastrophic failure in crypto-sleep simulation. Beginning awakening sequence.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rimworld, and more importantly, welcome to the long-awaited and long-promised Save Our Ship series. So, what is happening? I'll explain very briefly. For the regular questions, like the mod pack, the mods that we have enabled, for the installation guide, that will all be at the end of the episode, so stay tuned for that if you also want to play along, if you're interested in what we've got coming up in this series. For a brief overview, we are playing a large space-based mod pack, unsurprisingly. I've enacted a couple of rules. So firstly, no buildable colonists, so we haven't got any androids or anything along those lines in this series because they tend to be quite overpowered. As a result, I've included some mods that give us resources very slowly. No quarries, no deep drills, nothing crazy like that. Growable crops I thought were okay because they always seem to be quite balanced. But nothing that's particularly overpowered. The point of it is to build the ship using what we can scavenge from multiple different worlds, for example. So, those of you who watched last series will easily recognize our two titular characters from this one, Hocus and Mondo. Hocus and Mondo, turns out all throughout that last series, they were in a crypto sleep simulation. Unfortunately, our spaceship here has come under attack. It's heavily damaged. This is the scenario included, by the way, in Save Our Ship. I didn't build this ship. In one of the game starts, there is the derelict ship, which is what we are playing on right now. Everything is exactly how they've set it up, with the exception of a couple of charge rifles. You'll see why in a second. So the ship is damaged. The ship currently is unusable. You can see there are giant holes in the walls. We've got bits kind of floating outside of the ship there. We have basically quite heavy damage to the hull. This room is out of bounds. The ship itself is pretty much uninhabitable, as you can see up there, minus 100 degrees outdoor temperature. So the ship itself, given that it has very little heating, very little in the way of seals on the walls, is currently at minus 3 degrees C or 27 Fahrenheit there. Luckily, our people did start in EVA suits because they've just come out of crypto sleep. More specifically, Mondo has come out of crypto sleep there, so we'll have to go wake up Hocus in a second. But whoever was the crew of this ship have all been ejected into space. Whoever was keeping an eye on Hocus and Mondo are gone forever. The point of the ship was to train Hocus and Mondo to be combat ready, because this is quite clearly a warship that we ended up getting, again, purely randomly, but quite lucky. We've got some sort of attack vessel. It's got railgun turrets, laser turrets, auto-cannon turrets, the whole thing. So we got quite lucky with our randomness. Each time you play this scenario, the ship itself is randomized. There was another really cool scenario, which was an abandoned space station, but as someone who's never really played Save Our Ship before, I thought that I would go for the more simpler derelict ship. The whole point of our scenario now is to rebuild the ship and get out there into space and see what we can find. Unfortunately, everything that we need, because the rest of the crew has been jettisoned out into space, we don't have. We don't have the technology, we don't have the knowledge, we don't have the research, and we don't really have the resources to rebuild the damage to our ship. So we are going to have to abandon ship temporarily. Luckily, we got one of the random ships that start with a cargo shuttle, so we've got that going for us, which is quite nice. Kind of an interorbital shuttle here allows us to go between the ship and the planet. We can bring up resources, we can use this as a safe base if we really want to. Most of what we're going to do to start off with, though, will take place on the planet, and then, of course, we can expand and try and capture other ships and do what it is you do in Save Our Ship. Now, Hocus and Mondo were in deep storage. They were training. It was a simulation designed to give them skills, but of course they've been pulled out early here in an emergency. All Hocus and Mondo have for their own skills, they haven't carried anything over because of that emergency, because of the damage to the simulation. All they've kept this time, they've still got exactly the same traits. Besides that, they have shooting and melee. Everything else, all the other skills they've got are only added by their traits. So medical, from the fact that Mondo is a master medic. Social, from the fact that he is a master diplomat. Intellectual, from something. I have no idea, probably master medic, right? I'm not sure what's given him that one. Or probably one of his backstories here. Besides that, all they've got is shooting and melee because they were pulled out of that storage before their training was finished. So it's down here to Hocus and Mondo to try and rebuild this spaceship, get to safety, and find out why they were here in the first place. So I think we'll just abandon ship, as the rest of our crew did. They did start loading the shuttle for us, luckily enough, so we've got plenty of resources here to start ourselves off. Steel, components, medicine, quite a lot of steel, plenty of packaged survival meals. I'd probably say it's kind of similar to what's the best one to describe it? It's probably the Rich Explorer start, because we're going to have this shuttle pod, and we do have our EVA suits there as well. First things first then, Mondo, let's go wake up Hocus, and the first thing we need to do is work on our home base. Now, this planet is slightly different to all the other planets we played in Rimworld. This planet has quite a unique feature, and that is its orbit, or its rings, I guess is probably the right way to describe it. So if we go over to the World tab here and zoom out, you can see it's a much larger planet than we would normally play for a start. We are right here. You can see on this space tile, just in a kind of a low orbit there. But around the planet is a lot of debris, space junk, meteors. We've got space junk there. You can see all the various different types of meteor, space junk too. We've got our orbiting ship, which we can see at any time. As a result of that, the planet is going to be quite dangerous to live on. There's going to be a lot more meteor showers than there normally would be. There's going to be a lot more effects that I won't spoil too much, but it is, you know, it's a space-themed playthrough, so we've got a lot of things from space to think about, and kind of the consequence of having so much space junk up there in orbit. A lot of it will be things we've seen in previous series, so you see a lot of these space battles going on, a lot of shuttle crashes, a lot of the meteorites, but it's going to be a lot more common in this series compared to some other things that you might get in base game Rimworld, like pack animals wandering in and things like that. We're in space now. You know, this is the future of Rimworld right here, so no more pack animals when you can take a shuttle in between planets. So, Hocus and Mondo, then. Let's get you guys, and just to reiterate, you know, Hocus, identical skills, Misogynist, Ironworld, Misandrous, Beautiful. They're actually the same characters from the last series that I've just moved in between saves here. They are identical, other than their skill set, like I said. Hocus, right now, pretty terrible. Cooking, 2 points in crafting, because she was Firekeeper, Void Raider. And then we've got the shooting and melee stats there to keep us alive for a while. But they have the bonus of their kind of space-age technology, allowing them to get that learning a lot faster. So, if we can survive the early game, these guys are going to be very, very good. But unlike last series, they don't have all those crazy bonuses because they've been pulled out of the simulation there. Let's get them equipped. So, Hocus, let's grab a gun. Is there anything else we want to grab? We could even, I noticed the scenario here has started us with hull foam canisters. Now, hull foam is kind of this temporary, very weak spray that you can use to patch up holes in a ship's hull. So we can make the ship habitable, power it down, and fly to the planet until we can come back with, you know, a computer core. Until we can come back with all the things that we're going to need to rebuild this thing. So it's got quite a lot of useful things. Like torpedo tubes there. We've got a fission reactor. We do have the life support system, which is online. You can see that the grid is not going to last that long. So we do need to kind of patch things up and then maybe hurry up and get off the planet and power it all down. So let's take a look. How do we use the hull foam canisters? I assume it's just under ship. And you can see these guys, because they've just been pulled out of storage, know nothing. You know, they're not space engineers, so we're going to have to go and learn how to do that before we come back. Let's go ahead and spray the hull there. Can you see any more holes here? We've got a hole in the shuttle base, so we'll go ahead and patch that up. And then a hole in the forward part of the ship there in the forward bulkhead. I think that's just about everything. Let's get Hocus and Mondo, patch this up, make sure it's safe to come back at some point, and when we turn the power on, everything's good, and, you know, it's habitable. But we will obviously abandon ship after that, because unfortunately we just don't have the knowledge right now. Oh god, there's a massive hole in the wall here. I completely missed that. Right in the kind of kitchen, if you want to call it that. We've got a giant hole into the outside world, so we'll go ahead and patch that one up too. Let's get you guys on. They're gonna have a meal. To be fair, they have been in storage for God knows how long, so I think that's reasonable. Hocus is going to rest. I think we need to patch up the ship first, people, before we get too attached to that. So you work on that one. Let's get Mondo working on... Need hull foam. Oh, right, because Hocus is already on it there. How much have we got? We've got 10 canisters. I hope it's 1 canister per block. I assume it would be. Yeah, there you go. So hull foam canisters there. We'll let Mondo have a meal while Hocus just patches that up. Does that now count as patched up? Oh, you can see the temperature increasing, and it does have now breathable atmosphere. If it's unattached, then you can see that it says they're vacuum and outer space instead. Mondo, let's get you working on that one. Oh, Mondo is far too busy vomiting. Okay, Hocus. Hocus is unloading inventory. I think it's because we've set Mondo onto that one. There we are. That's a good start. Okay, let's quickly get the rest of this patched up, and then we'll head down to the planet. See what we can find to land, because like I said, unlike the regular planets we play on, we've got access to so many different tiles that we wouldn't normally have in Rimworld. You can see everything there. Look at that. It's really cool, huh? Turns out they've done animated backgrounds too, which obviously I've got enabled for this one. So we're in kind of a stationary orbit there. Right, what have we got? So this one's all patched up, breathable atmosphere. Okay. We just got this last one to go, and I think that's it. Might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's everything. And the ship should start heating up now. It should be, you know, a livable, habitable spaceship. Can't see anything else wrong with it. How is the reactor doing? Minus 2,000 watts a day we're losing, down to 55,000 watts. Yeah, we are going to have to get out of this ship pretty soon. We could turn off non-essentials and make sure that when we come back there's enough power left in it just to turn things online. So let's turn the TV off. Let's turn this off. The heating we should probably leave on, because that will be the difference between life and death if we're not careful here. What about, like, the auto-eject caskets? We can turn off the shield generator, given that no one's actually going to be in the ship. I guess we can leave it online just in case it comes under attack, maybe, while we're on the planet. I don't know if that can happen, but we'll just be careful about things. What have we got in here, then? Ship capacitors, so those are quite large-style batteries. Yeah, I think everything's turned off that can be turned off, or at least for the most part. What have we got down here? Is that just a kind of access tunnel to the engine? Oh, for engine repairs, but there was more chem fuel in there. Okay, interesting. And how's the ship looking right now? 20 degrees. Oh, look at that. That's so much better. Mondo's going for a spacewalk to get some plasteel that's been trapped outdoors. They do have the EVA suits. The reason I started them with the EVA suits, you don't actually start with those. They're just in the ship. The reason I started with it is I tried 3 separate starts, and all of them my people suffocated straight away because, you know, trying out the station, we ended up in places where there were no EVA suits. I wanted to make sure that we weren't just going to immediately spawn and die, to be honest. The power issues are dealt with. I've turned off everything that is completely non-essential. The only things online now are the shield generators, the heat sinks. The guns are off, the bridge is off, everything is offline, and life support is obviously still enabled there. We've got Hocus and Mondo loaded into the cargo shuttle, along with everything we're ever going to need to start a colony here. I went ahead and uninstalled all of the useful furniture. So the beds, the drug slab, the television, everything down to the chess table is packed into this shuttle. It's about half full, so it can take a surprising amount there. I've left behind some spare plasteel there. We've got some uranium fuel pods and the torpedoes for the ship. Obviously, there's no point taking those to the planet. Goodbye, little ship. We'll be back one day. Let's find a launch site. Now, I did kind of poke around a second and take a look at down here on the kind of southwest coast. There's this really cool spot right here where we've got a mountain with no caves. We've got a sea tile, and we've also got the riverbed. Now, bear in mind all of the debris in orbit, everything raining down on us from space battles to shuttle crashes to meteorites. We need somewhere safe, and we need somewhere under a mountain, preferably, so that we are safe from that. So this is where we're probably going to end up living. It's also quite easy to defend from this point from the other things on the planet as well. The bandits, the pirates, the insects too. And apparently we've got the Blue Moon Corporation. Interesting. Well, let's see where we end up then, huh? Good luck, little ship. Shuttle pod is away. You can see them there going down from our spaceship to the planet. Here we go. Man, this is so cool, isn't it? Going down from our ship in orbit there to our landing spot. It's going to be just that one there. Now, I did take a look at it in advance. We do have, again, mountainous river, sandstone, limestone. We've got anywhere between 26 to 29 degrees per year, so a nice, consistent average temperature. Growing period is all round, 3,038 millimeters of rainfall. And, again, no caves, which is great when we've got all these extra insects. And the shuttle is about to land now. Welcome to our new home. This is going to be interesting. I have no idea what to expect when we actually land on the planet. Again, these mods could add any number of things. So I'm quite curious exactly where we're going to end up. Brace yourself. Landed in a river. What are we looking at? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Look at this map. Okay. So it's got a big river running through it. We've got... So this side leads to the ocean. Hang on. If I'm not mistaken, the only way raiders can get in is through the river? Am I wrong? Hang on. So we've got... Yeah, this is all deep sea tile, so they can't get in through there. Drop pods, of course, still going to be an issue. Probably going to be more frequent as well, because the game won't be able to send larger raids through the edges of the map. Wow, this is weird. I like it. A little secret ship research facility hidden in this river valley. Loads of animals, a shitload of wildlife. We've got elephants, we've got rhinos, we've got some boomalopes there too. This is really nice. What a strange little base we've ended up with. And we landed right in the river. I would like to put the ship down somewhere a bit more sensible. Now, maybe retreating all the way into this section would be the best idea. Because we've got plenty of steam geysers there. We've got the Animatrees actually over here as well. We've got the rhinos, the elephants, whatever else. If we come back over to here, look at all the fertile soil too. Now, it's going to be quite difficult to manage to start off with because we've got a lot of trees. I think if we come over here and we start digging out maybe in this direction into the mountains... That could work quite well, and it gives us this massive sheltered growing zone. Man, this is a really, really nice base. Okay, well, let's do it. Toggle hover mode, and then we can, I believe, now drive the ship. Or not. Oh, there we are. I believe we can now drive the ship, so if we draft it up there, we can basically go and manually get it to set down somewhere. Holy shit, so we need to move this stuff fast, because it's obviously in a river, and that's going to do unspeakable water damage to it, and ruin your insurance. Alright, let's put down, whatever, just any sort of stockpile right now. The only job you guys have got to do is get that stuff hauled as soon as possible. Draft up and undraft, and let's get it done. Fantastic. Follow the spaceship. Look at it go. That's so cool. Man, it's going to take us a while to get over there, isn't it? Okay, it's going to take a while to get all this hauling done, unfortunately. Right, there we are. And the spaceship is relatively safe. Now, I want to put it somewhere that's really, really safe. Somewhere where we haven't got to worry about pirates or raiders getting to it. I want to kind of... Ideally, we'd build an inter-mountain hangar bay for it. Drive it out of the doors, then launch it into orbit, rather than leaving it outdoors. Now, it can get into orbit from being in a field, obviously. We've only got 0.8 hours of flight left. Oh, dear. Let's put it down just somewhere around here. Yeah, I think this is fine. There we are. Ship set down. 1 out of 600 fuel. So that was a one-way journey. We can't get back up to our spaceship for a long time. I think it's a temporary thing. Why don't we move the supplies up to there? I think that probably couldn't hurt. Just get them out of the river, and then we'll slowly move them downriver as time goes by. So why don't we, for the time being, then set that as low priority. Keep that as normal. Get all of this stuff moved over, and then let's go ahead and prioritize hauling all of that stuff. There we are. And then when that's moved up, we can change this one to low priority, the other one's critical, and start moving it over there. To spare EVA suit. I didn't mean to do that. It must have already been in the shuttle before we left. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, nothing to worry about. Have collapsed due to extreme exhaustion. To be fair, they did both come out of crypto sleep and then immediately have to get in a spaceship and haul ass while the vacuum was kind of destroying their ship around them. So that's reasonable. Let's put a couple of bedrolls down here then. Actually, where's do they haul seriously all the other bedrolls over there as the first thing? You fools. The only thing we've got to be careful of is that the animals don't get into our food supplies, because we haven't exactly got a mountain of food here. Let's go ahead and do what I said. Let's drop it to low, set this one to critical, and start moving all that stuff over. Yeah, I think we'll let them have a good night's sleep first, though. Let them have a little bit of time just to eat and kind of be merry for a little while. I'm going to go pure recreation schedule. Just for a little while, just to let them, again, do whatever they need to do. Let's go ahead and draft and undraft them to reset their current work jobs there as well. Have a little meal. Hocus is falling asleep in the river. Not the most sensible place to sleep there, fella. Right, there we are. You can get yourself a little bit of food. I'm just hoping the monkeys don't get into my meals too much. Is there any way we can put those that's relatively safe? No, unfortunately not. We can put them kind of like there. There should be plenty of just natural food around for the animals to not have to worry about it. Oh, no. That's not a good start. What, that one? Guinea pig. That one. It's got to be. Right. Open fire, but kind of be careful about it. The last thing we want is to piss off a herd of rhinos. What a shot. Wow. All of those simulations coming in handy there. The soldier simulations really training him up. Show him out all the other skills we've lost, huh? Right, so you're just gonna... Oh, unload inventory. That's fine. That's absolutely what we want you to do. Again, they're set to high recreation, so they're probably just gonna cloud watch, stargaze, have a walk, you know, whatever they can do really here. And then we'll start working on a little kind of living area. We've got a building there. Is that an ancient danger? Mondo, can I get you to check that out? You know, we'll let him cloud watch first. Build up a little bit of recreation. Yeah, it's done a good job of cheering him up. Right, let's go and see what we've got in here then. It is an ancient danger. Shit. I wanted to open it up, see if we could live in there. What about this building? Ah. Maybe not. Maybe not in that case. Okay, we'll work on an actual proper, just kind of structure temporarily. We might have to build it out of wood. Now, I've kind of sworn off of building things out of wood ever since what happened with the other series, where everything blew up multiple times in our Yayo's Planet series. But for this time around, they haven't really got the skills or the speed to be stone cutting. And to be mining. So, we're also in quite a sheltered area. So, for kind of maybe a couple of episodes, we'll stick to a wooden base. And the only thing we've really got to fear is fire at that point. Oh, it looks as if Hoax is slightly better at cooking. Yeah, because she was a fire tender. So, very, very slightly better. Just setting up the kind of generic jobs. I think we'll do it similar to what we did last time. So, deconstruct and construct on Hocus. You do the building. You do the cooking. Keep us alive there. We'll set that as highest priority for you as well. Actually, no, let's drop that down to 2. Let's make sure harvest and growing is the top priority after cooking and butchering. So obviously that's also keeping us alive. Mining, drilling, we'll forget all about this for the time being. Plant cut should be quite high as well, because it's obviously a manual designation. Let's just get rid of everything else, to be honest. For the time being, we can dump everything. We need some points in deliver, haul, and clean, just so that they can actually interact and do those jobs if necessary. I think that's alright for the start of things. Keep on recreation for a little bit. I don't know, the moods are getting pretty good. So I've actually adjusted the color-coded mood bar mod so that it goes between red to green, rather than it did before, where it was red and then kind of a paler red, and then it went over to green, and then it flipped to blue. Instead, deep red is the worst one, deep green is the best one, and then it will go between that. So you see they're kind of in that greeny yellow area, which means they're doing pretty good in terms of mood right now. So we'll just let them stay up, work beyond their regular schedules. I'm not going to set a dedicated sleep time or anything like that yet. I'll certainly do it. Okay, how much we got? 136. Yeah, that's a good start. Right, so let's go structure and start putting down some sort of basic building. Ideally, so these are areas that we can't build, are they? Marshy soil. Can we build on marshy soil? Yeah, we can. I guess that's a fertility overlay. In fact, speaking of that, we should make sure we're not covering over any areas. Because so lots of rich soil. Oh man, this area doesn't have any rich soil. That was just regular soil. Okay, so we might want to grow kind of groves of trees over here, perhaps, or devil strand. Some of the crops like the chem root crop for growing chem fuel there requires obviously to have facilities. So we can put that over there. Sure, it's a bit more risky because the bandits, the raiders, are going to get over there first, but that's all right. I mean, it's kind of a, it's whether or not we want to build the base closer to the entrance of to the whole map, but get access to that soil a bit more immediately. I think it's better to have this more defensive position, huh? I just wanted to check that very briefly so that we weren't accidentally covering anything up. No, we've got nothing to worry about now. Right, so let's do something like this. We want to build as close to these geothermal generators. Is that two right next to each other? Oh, that's elixine gas, and that was a regular steam geyser. Got it, okay. We might as well build somewhere in this area. And then for the red zones, we will need a bridge on that one. I don't know why that one is a... I know it's marshy soil, but... Oh, maybe that means it can't support heavy buildings? I thought walls were a heavy building. I don't know. I don't know, basically. It doesn't really matter too much, as long as we can build. Very, very basic 6x6 bedrooms. I think that's fine. And then we'll kind of do our usual kitchen recreation area, I think is a good idea. And then we'll put the actual freezer just kind of in this zone like that. I'm getting weird deja vu. I feel like I've built this exact base many, many, many times before. Well, let's do something like that then. So this will be between the freezer and the kitchen zone. So if we put the door all the way over here, we could put the kitchen stove like there or something like that. That's fine. And then we'll go wooden door to the outside world. And maybe another one to get into the freezer. We'll start growing some crops kind of in this vicinity then. All right, that's fine. And then get some stuff installed. So we'll go for our recreation immediately. Let's get some bedrolls down on top of the swamp. You're welcome. Got a game of I guess we'll put that down there. That's fine. What else we got here? Some more stools. Is that everything? Oh, right, they haven't all that over from the other stockpile yet, have they? It looks like you'll be here for a while. Yes, we will. We've got to research how to build spaceships. Mondos think you should give your faction a name. What will your faction be called? Well, comment section, this one's down to you. I'll let you guys decide on this one, because we didn't do it really much for last series. So, for the time being, we'll call it something along the lines of the Space Base Exploration Agency. That'll do. Perfect. And then I'll let you guys come up with something much, much better. We're on a date? We haven't even built a base yet, you people. Okay. Well, here we go. Hoax and Mondo quit about playing backgammon. Just a shame you guys haven't actually installed the chess table or the game of board yet. Let's play some games together, they say as they go and stand in the ocean. Where are they going now? There we are. They're back to work. Thank you. Appreciate that. I feel like this recreation schedule was a little bit too generous, I will admit. Right, no more dates. Dates are officially banned from now on. Ready? We're already making enemies, huh? The band of thugs sent by the Lavego Union caught you from nearby. They offered to keep you colony safe from any threats. We can't pay the offer. We don't have the silver. The thugs seem happy about you refusing their offer and cut the communication right after ensuring that they cannot guarantee your safety. So, a raid from those guys is to be expected then. Let's try and get all of our stuff hauled over, because the last thing we want is these guys turning up, stealing our stuff and leaving. Particularly when we've got all those components. We've got the drugs lab. We've obviously got the bedrolls there as well. Don't really want them taking those. Oh, man. I can see a lot of botched constructions ahead. I did put both of them on construction, just trying to get the base done quicker, but in hindsight, it would be far more beneficial. Oh, that's quite nice. It would be far more beneficial just to let Mondo deal with it and focus on building one person up to be a competent builder, especially because right now we lack the skills to even build coolers. If we get hit by a heat wave early on, we're dead, and there's actually nothing we can do to stop it. Oh, meteors already. That was fast. Oh my god. No way. Was that the... They landed where we were sleeping last night. That could have been a pretty explosive way to end the series, huh? Oh no, we're suddenly killed by a meteor. That would have been incredible. So what do we get there? We've got marble and limestone and sandstone all compacted down. We did get some compacted steel though, which is quite nice. What's all these monkeys? Toxic buildup. Oh, a snake has eaten all of them? A chinchilla as well? That's a bit strange. Yeah, there's a cobra on this map, and it is killing everything that moves. Wow, it genuinely is, huh? We should probably deal with that cobra. I imagine one of the elephants will stomp it eventually, but wow. Look at it. It's just killed everything. Oh, were our meals crushed? We had 30 meals, and now we've got nothing. Well, that's not ideal, is it? Okay, don't panic. There are so many bananas that we haven't got a problem. We're just going to have to harvest them very fast. Mondo, cut me some bananas, please. And then let's... Oh, no, don't botch it. And then feed Hocus. Tasty bananas. You're fine. Nothing to worry about. We did have meals. Wait. Hocus is starving. You decided to keep all the meals for yourself. You disgusting man. Let me guess, you've got meals. I was going to say maybe she's got meals in her backpack. There you go. You're fine. It's okay. You've got Mondo standing over you, force-feeding you bananas. What are these elephants doing? All of the creatures, for some reason, have decided to gather around our shuttle. Got an eclipse early on, too. Wow. I don't know what they're doing. This is so strange. Are they on a date again? I told you those were banned. This says work, not date. Unbelievable. Well, I suppose they're making friends, if nothing else. Or not. Yeah, no, not really at all, huh? I'm surprised they've got -10 and +2 if they've been on 2 dates already. It's just not working out. Wow, that was an entire day, and they got this wall complete. These botched constructions are a little insane. We are up to 2.7 construction, though. So it's going pretty fast. Obviously, the early levels will, and then when we get towards the end, it'll obviously drop off quite significantly. But it's not a terrible start, I will admit. I was expecting things to go a lot more badly, especially when I get flashbacks to the Jump series that we did. And that guy was dying of heat waves within the first 30 seconds. Eclipse and the Psychic Soothe have ended there. There we are. And that should be the last of the base whenever he can build that wall. Perfect. And a wild man. Small Neolithic tribe of wild men wandering. Oh, all of them? We've got Omar, Loser, Cobb, Chemical Interest, Very Neurotic, Jealous. 16 animals. Whoa. Stuve, Chemical Interest, Hard Worker, Body Purist, Kind. You've got some good traits there. Shame about Chemical Interest again. Staggering Lurgling, Sanguine is again quite a nice combo. Inventor and Artisan. They're actually all not bad. They all have their own strengths. This guy, Animal Master. This guy, Hard Worker, Kind. Potentially build him up into something quite good. And then Tony is just naturally sanguine, so less micromanagement. The only issue is, hang on. Yep, I was just about to say that. No handler can tame wild man. Requires 7 animals. The best handler is Mondo with 0. We'll have to wait until we get our own wanderer. Maybe a slave ship could tell us someone good at taming animals. Then we could bring them down. But for the time being, that's not going to happen. We'll just have to exist peacefully with them. We could kill them and eat them. Or we could coexist peacefully. We could kill them. A lot of dead animals that are still edible kicking around. I think it's like Cougar has been going around taking them all down. If we could get them into... So let's say no rotten. Everything else is fine. Let's go corpses and then also no human corpses this time around. Also say no insect. I know it can be useful for kibble. You know, nutrient paste dispensers, that type of thing. But for the time being, I think we'll leave it just as it is. Oh, a hunting party. They'll hunt for a few hours and then move on. Hello. Okay, what are you guys here to hunt exactly? Because if they... Oh, man, look at that gold. If they drive the elephants into a manhunter pack, we could have some problems here. What are they hunting? Hunting boomalopes. Okay. Just keep an eye on them, see what they're getting up to. What are they shooting at? Hunting boomalopes. Don't shoot. I wanted to tame the boomalopes. That's so destructive. Oh, my God, and the base is made of wood. I noticed as well one of the huntsmen is called Huntsman, which is pretty much on brand. Well, that sucks. Let's hope that doesn't spread too far, otherwise our whole base is going down. Just hunting them and killing them and then walking away. Let's go ahead and put the fire on that boomload. That means we've got something else edible there. How's Mondo doing? Trapped by fire. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're fine. That's quite lucky. Bloody hunters. What the hell's wrong with you people? So angry. All this nature destroyed immediately, and I thought this was going to be a new paradise. I'm going to get them to harvest all the plants on the map. All 2 of them, really? Brilliant. Well, we better put down some crops then pretty goddamn soon. We also need to get down butcher spots, some sort of cooling, electricity. We have a mountain ahead of us here. I don't know how we're going to survive with no food for the next couple of days. 2 plants, really? I thought there were loads of bananas on this map. What's this one exactly? Oranges. Great. Okay, let's hope we've got pemmican then or something, because this is going to suck otherwise. Again, all of this is basically just base game scenario and storyteller, so outside of that, let's take a look. What are we looking for here? Butcher spot. Yeah, that couldn't hurt. Let's go for butcher creature. Let's go do forever. Who's our best butcher? Neither of them. Hocus. Yeah, let's do it. Let's try and get these things to survive slightly longer. Otherwise, they're going to rot away before we even get a chance to do anything with them. Consuming raw meat. I'd rather you didn't, actually. Let's put down a campfire, then. I guess we've got no choice, really, have we? So what's that under these days? I've got the mod pack that adds the, you know, that adds all the separate categories, divide things up a little bit more, but it's going to take a little bit of getting used to again. I'm going to draft Hocus up just to stop her eating the raw meat there. Let's get that going. There we are. And then cook simple meal times 4. Do forever. Because we're not going to have much food anyway, so I don't mind them wasting too much time on this. Meals. Excellent. There we are. No! Shoot it. Nice. What a shot there. Crack shot Hocus. Man, it's nice playing a series where we can actually kill something. The final thing I want to do today to basically have a bit of insurance policy for next time is to make sure we've got a manager's desk down and a hunting designation designated for hunting. So let's put down a basic manager's desk. To be honest, I feel like putting down the machining table at this point in the game was a little bit, maybe a little bit preemptive. That's alright. We'll put it down there, I guess, for the time being and just get that sorted as the final thing I want to do. Again, get some... Oh! Who's Lumi? A bounty hunter named Lumi is crashing in a transport pod. Is suffering from paralytic abasia and will not be able to walk. Should recover naturally. There is also a chance of a lucky quick recovery. Paralytic abasia can also be cured by special operation, which requires a large amount of good-to-well medicine. She's willing to contribute once she's recovered, but will not leave voluntarily. If you don't want Lumi, you can banish her, sell her into slavery, or leave her to die. Oh, welcome. We can finally get a new Amy or Ciala or Don. We can bring the people from the simulation to life. She got 30 in shooting. Holy shit. So what is the paralytic... 32 days of paralytic abasia. Wow. That's interesting. So if we can keep her alive for 32 days, we get a free colonist, or we do the operation. What is the operation like? Because getting someone early here... 10 glitter ball medicine. We've got 15. So we could spend... 2/3 of our medicine to get her up on her feet. She's got good shooting. She's got good crafting. She's our most skilled colonist by far, obviously, at this point. I think let's do it. Let's get her. Okay. Hocus, when you finish... Sorry, we'll finish doing this first. Rescuing Lumi. There we are. Get her into the bed, and then let's do the operation. Why not? It's a little bit risky, but I'm pretty sure we came with regular medicine too, so it's... I think this is quite cool. Let's get it done. Good luck, Mondo. He was our master medic. What was that just blew up? Oh, a boom light. I thought it was more things falling from space, but luckily we haven't got much to worry about there. I don't know if you can botch this surgery. Bear in mind, we are operating on her. 10 glitterable medicine on the line here. She's only got 7.23 medical, but he's a master medic, and he's done it. Oh, wow. So when the anesthetic's worn off, we've got a new person. This is phenomenal. Final thing, then. Like I said, we will set up a hunting job. So let's go for... Calculate distance based on actual path is probably going to be very central this time. Bear in mind, we've got to go all the way around that mountain. Let's go any herd animals, but no exploding animals. I don't know what they'll actually... Oh, elephants, though, seem a bit dangerous to try and hunt. No elephants, no rhinos. It leaves us with capybara, monkeys, or... Oh, God, okay, we'll go rats, we'll go tortoises, we'll go guinea pigs, cobras, chinchillas, maybe cassowaries. I don't want to go for elephants or rhinos, especially because they're in big herds, and especially because they will destroy us. That seems like a fair shout. Oh, I didn't actually set that job up, huh? There we are. Wood as well. I think we'll do the same thing. So count all on map, check if they're reachable, calculate if they are... Actually, let's just do that. All trees besides anima. Manage, so that's going to get 500 wood in there constantly as well. And that's basically all we're after, I think. We'll do mining jobs later on when that becomes a bit more relevant. Mondo, you are now community manager. Here we go. That means we're basically guaranteeing that there's always going to be a good amount of food in the colony, a good amount of wood in the colony for our 3 people now, I guess. And we'll give... I assume the EVA suits have some decent armor rating. 40%, 75% against heat, and good insulation too, because they are meant to survive against space. So bringing that spare suit, in hindsight, ended up being a really, really good idea, because now we can give Lumi some decent gear. What are the helmets like? Can I take those off? Oh, they also give decent gear. I actually want to see Hocus and Mondo's faces eventually, but for the time being, we've got a really cool map, we've got a really cool spaceship, and I think the scenario is pretty fun. Let's see where our space adventures take us. I'm quite excited for this one. Stay tuned after the end screen credits, and I'll go for an installation guide, kind of an overview of some of the mods I've installed, some of the mods that I left out this series, and just some general information about the campaign, really, for those of you who are a bit more curious. But for those of you here for gameplay, that is it for today. See you all tomorrow for the adventures of our 3 new colonists, which is quite exciting. As a heads up, the coffee lists are currently in the process of being merged with Patreon, and of course it is now the start of September, so I've got to merge that with the new September list too. It's a little bit harder than Patreon to manage because they don't just do it at the start of each month. Obviously, everyone has their own rolling subscription independent of time, so I've got to try and do all of that and work it out. It's going to take me slightly longer probably with coffee than it would normally. In the meantime, a big thank you goes out to our executive producers of the day, including Ben, DPB, Kyle Madoctor, Hero of My Crotch, Philosophical U Prize, Callum James 3, Scott L, Fire Scream, Sideshow C, Tom P, Skaz, Ethox, Devorder, Simba, I Stab Cows, and Zetlock, along with, of course, all the other executives for their support over at the executive tiers. Thank you guys all for your support over on Coffee or Patreon or wherever you happen to be these days. A big thank you as well goes out to Telkus345, Jack Blacksheep, Echo Cakes, Hero Club, Shatulski, Blood Riot, Kamikaze, James B, Smirtworm, Galupo Fruit Hag, Don, Afanafist, Dinosius, The Esoteric, Blabubba, Plumby, Fred, and everybody over at Coffee Patreon. You at home for watching, thank you guys, and I hope you enjoy what is going to be an interesting series. A pretty different one, I think, to some of the other series we've done before. This section is going to cover the installation guide for the mod pack, and I'll talk a little bit more about some mods that were and were not included after that. I've included one of these for basically every single series. I will also write up all of the instructions on the Steam Workshop collection page. I can't put it in the YouTube comments kind of description box, or I can't put it in the YouTube video description box, just because there's not enough room. If I want to try and credit all the mod authors, I can't exceed something like 5,000 characters, and obviously just trying to get the mod pack in there takes up all of that. So I'll put the install instructions in the Steam Workshop collection for kind of a written reference. So the first thing you'll need to do is go over to the Steam Workshop, go to the Save Our Ship Lightweight Space Adventures, uploaded by me, hello, Roll1D2 Games, hit the subscribe to all button right there, and that will, funnily enough, subscribe you to all the mods in this mod pack. As per usual, we will be installing everything with the Mod Manager mod. The first thing you need to do to basically get that ready for your mod list is to open up your mod section when everything is already downloaded. You need to enable 2 things to start off with. The first thing you need to enable is a mod called Harmony. I'm sure if you've ever done any Rimworld modding before, you know what Harmony is. And then the next one is the actual Mod Manager mod. Mod Manager needs Harmony to actually run. Now, Harmony, this confuses a lot of people, needs to go above core. It doesn't necessarily need to go above core, but it does, otherwise it'll start to scream at you. So make sure you get that, then core, royalty, then Mod Manager, then you can have the game restart automatically. This will enable Mod Manager to actually allow you to use my mod list that I've uploaded, ready for you guys to download and basically enable, install, and launch things off. You know that it's worked properly because your Mod Manager will obviously look very, very different. You see all of the various different disabled mods on the left-hand side and all the enabled mods on the right. Next thing to do is pretty straightforward, I think. In the Steam Workshop page or in the YouTube description, if I have enough room for it, will be a link to a Google Drive document. That document is this one right here. It is quite simply the load list for the Rimworld mods. So you can see all of them there in the order they should go. If you're really skeptical about downloads, you could follow this if you really wanted to. I'm sure you could work out what they are. But simply go up to the top here, hit download, and that will download the file. When you've done that, you want to go into your downloads folder, wherever that happens to be. Here's one I prepared earlier. I've just downloaded that again twice, but there you go. You can see the Save Our Ship version 3.xml file. There's a very specific place you need to put this, and that specific place will only appear after you've enabled the Mod Manager. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that one so that we can paste it into the right location. The easiest way to find this location is by typing in %appdata, one word, APPDATA, and then another % and hitting enter. That will take you to a folder that's relatively close to where you need to go. From there, go back a folder from, you were currently in app data roaming, we need to go back to the app data folder, and then from there you can go into local low. In there is a folder called Ludion Studios, and then in there is Rimworld, and finally, mod lists. Now, this folder will be empty if you just generate it, as I have. All you need to do now is paste that file into there. Those are the mod lists that your game will have access to load from. Now, unfortunately, as I recall, they don't actually show up until you've reloaded. Yeah, unfortunately not, until you reload the game. So go ahead and close Rimworld again at that point. Then, reopen it. And that should be everything you need to do to get the mod list in the right order. Now, please be warned, the first time that you're loading the mod list, it will, of course, take quite a long time. So the final thing, then, is open up the mods folder, then go to this button here, create, apply, and manage mod lists, enable Save Our Ship version 3, and then load mod list. This one here, second option. That will take all of the mods that I have selected for this mod pack, and it will put them in a fairly decent order. I did take a little bit more time and effort to get these mods in a decent order compared to my usual packs. I generally just do the bare minimum, make sure the mods are in an order whereby there are no errors and makes the most logical sense. Larger mods at the top, smaller mods at the bottom. That's what I've done for this mod pack. There are no errors, no issues, no conflicts, no concerns. There are certain mods that are out of date, but they still work fine. So don't panic too much. Things like an Embraces mod, Pick Up and Haul, all work perfectly between 1.1 and 1.2. It's basically just as simple as the mod author not having yet updated that on the workshop. Then when you close Mod Manager, it will say, of course, the mod list has changed. Again, when I restart automatically, hit OK. This will probably take quite a long time, so you'll have to bear with the game. If this is your first time loading, it will take a very, very long time to enable all of these mods, especially on slower systems. There's 171 mods here, so you have to bear in mind, well, those are all obviously brought in, patched, research trees are built, definitions are passed, that type of thing. Takes me about 5 minutes. Actually, no, it doesn't take me about 5 minutes. It takes me about 30 seconds. But on a slower PC, it'll probably take you about 5 minutes. So now's the time you might want to just go get yourself a drink, come back to it. There are going to be a few errors in the debug log. Don't worry about it too much. Some of them are, like this one, for example, duplicate XML node. So mods basically adding a similar XML. Don't worry about that too much. Just name conflicts. This one here has backstory-related errors, so don't worry about that one too much. And that's everything. Those are the only serious red errors on the whole thing. If you close it quite clear, there are no consistent errors there. Same in gameplay. When you clear the log, there's nothing firing, at least in my experience so far. You know that that's worked because when you click the new game button, you'll see things like derelict ship, derelict station, mercenaries, bandits, exiled meths. I don't know if that's supposed to be mechs or meths. Okay. Well, there we are. What mods do we have in this pack then? Well, this time around, I tried to avoid any colonist building mods. A lot of people want to see the androids return, but we've already done kind of an android-y style series, and I have plans for a future android-y style series. So I didn't want to go too heavy on it this time, and I always found the androids, especially when coupled with infinite resource mods, are a snowball effect. You get some infinite resources, you get an android out of it. You put that android to generating infinite resources, then you put a second android to also work on that. Especially with something like the quarry mod, it gets very much out of hand very quickly. Exponential colonists, essentially. So this time around, we've gone for a bit more of a streamlined setup, in my opinion. We've got Save Our Ship to Rimworld and Alpha ships, of course, being the kind of primary... The primary mods of this series. Save Our Ship 2, of course, adding the ship combat, these buildable spaceships, Rimworld, and rockets, and the meteorites that you've seen in space, so near-Earth objects, moons, asteroids, and space debris. That's quite cool. I thought that was a nice little flash of a little bit extra to flash out Save Our Ship 2. Alpha ships add some more ship parts. 64 new modular spaceship parts. Those are really only the largest mods we've got in the pack. Besides that, we've got the vanilla expanded suite, which everybody is going to play with always anyway, let's be reasonable. Then our other large mods, or the other mods that specifically add things, because like I said, it took a bit of time to organize this one a little bit better. We've got armor racks, more mechanoids, sparkling worlds. We've got a mod called Altered Carbon, which adds a fairly unique way of getting immortality. It's quite high-tech. I figured that for a high-tech playthrough, this is pretty good. And there's a lot of high-tech things in here. Glitternet, we've got utility columns, we've got miscellaneous robots. Only buyable robots, again, no craftable robots this time around. Antimatter Annihilation, because it's quite grandiose, but actually not super overpowered. Got things like Demo Regenerator, Med Bays, War Vitals, Monitors, War Lights. But again, besides the spaceship ones, every other mod kind of just adds one or two things. Deep Storage adds deep storage, funnily enough, temperature control unit, and then Pick Up and Haul. You got your gameplay effects coming in here. So you got Gunplay, Yayo's Combat, which is probably the other largest mod in this one, and then kind of very minor replacements or changes to what is already in the base game, but really nothing added to the game. So everything kind of above or below this point here is just old things that are changed. So I would say about 2/3 of the mod pack are just adjusting what is already in base game Rimworld. There are some mods that throw errors. I specifically put those at the end of the list. That way, if they did break, nothing would really affect things too much. But they all seem to work fine. Xenobartic Patcher, Vanilla Text is expanded. It's the expanded mod expansion. So, basically the way this works is if there are any mods that use base game textures recolored, then it will alter it to match the vanilla textured expanded textures instead. You can see there gemstones from the gemstone mod changed into gemstones from the vanilla textured expanded. Same with the sky steel there, whatever else. So it's fairly straightforward. You've got damage indicators, what's missing, and some bonuses there for balance, with prepare carefully right at the end where it should be. And that's everything. It's a very simple mod pack. It's deceptively simple. Like I said, 141 mods or something, so a slightly smaller one. Lots of high-tech mods that add maybe one or two things, but the main chunk of it being the spaceships. So let me know what you think, basically. If you've got any other suggestions for good mods that can go in mid-save, send them my way. Adding saves mid-save is fine. Taking mods away mid-save is always a problem. If you guys do decide that there are some maybe new Androids mods that's a bit more balanced to throw in, that's absolutely fine. Anything that basically won't be upset too much by the unlimited resources. That's all I ask. So if you've got any suggestions, I'm still open to that. And then I can go ahead and update the Google Drive document, which will be always updated on the Steam Workshop page. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And I hope you guys enjoyed playing the mod pack, more importantly.